This road is mine. Yeah. There's your intro, hey? Yeah.
Sounds
Wait
good.
for the ad to play on YouTube. Oh, man. Welcome to KARAC HENDRIKS. This road is mine. Got my son, Cohen, of course, across the table from me, as always. We are back. We've changed days now. We are doing this on Tuesdays. I was dropping it on Fridays because that correlated with release day, but now we're back to Tuesdays. Tuesdays used to be the original release day.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and the albums used to be released on Tuesdays, but then they moved it to Friday. And I don't know why it was Tuesday, but probably due to shipping or some sort of logistical thing or whatever. But
On a Tuesday is a Pain of Salvation song.
on a
too.
Tuesday, and on a Monday, I just read something that said on a Monday. I gotta think about that for a sec, but yeah, you know, and on any given Thursday or any given Sunday. Thursday was the John Mayer album. Any given Sunday is the term for, like, I think football or something. I don't know. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, this week we're going to talk about one of my favorite records of all time. That's David Lindley's Rayo-X. Yeah, well, this is quite the record for me. Listen to how the album starts. Like, come on,
cool.
you know.
I like how the guitar is in the right ear and then the snare came in the left ear.
Oh, it did too. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, yeah. They would have had a lot of fun making this record. I mean, this is the kind of record that you can only make on a major label, like in the early '80s. Apparently, I mean, David was he was a legend already. In if you were like a fan of reading liner notes, so you know, he had worked mainly with Jackson Browne, like since the early days. You know, worked with Warren Zevon as well, and yeah, I mean, he was just from that California scene. He was born California, still lives there. You know, he really had an impact on what I guess the normies call world music, right? So
Yeah.
you know, like anything other than, I think is what they. Yeah, you know, he was in a band called Kaleidoscope in the '60s, which I didn't discover till way later, and it's not really like, it wasn't anything I could identify that, oh, that's definitely David Lindley, but he was like one of those guys that was really interested in playing like all different types of instruments.
Right.
Like he would have like bouzouki and like just, and it's funny because when I think back, just before this record, we'll talk about like in the '70s, like he was kind of the go-to guy for if you needed something weird, like musically, like. But I love his violin playing. It's probably just because it's the violin playing on some great songs that really influenced me or whatever. But yeah, his violin playing on The Road by David Lindley by Jackson Browne was really cool. Yeah, Jackson. Most people really got into David or knowing who he was, I think, through the album Running on Empty. The Jackson Browne
that's the
album,
only
77.
like song I know.
Yeah, because it's got that identifiable that lap slide, the lap steel,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, and that's the reason I play lap steel. Like, is that sound? It's just there's something about that, the cry of it, and
It's cool.
yeah. And then he did that really high falsetto part of on Stay too. So,
And he worked with Rayo-X, right?
well, yeah, and they still work together. Actually, I think they do live shows because I think, you know, we've talked about this before. Like, I don't think there could be a David Lindley without a Rayo-X. I mean, Lindley's my guy, but I mean, you know, Ry is the man. I think I like to compare like Satch to Vi. You know, like
yeah.
like I don't know. For me, like Vi is Lindley and Satch is Cooter. Like you know, one was the teacher, but
Yeah, literally, yeah.
yeah,
Student
exactly.
becomes the master.
Yeah, totally. I'm just trying a new technique here where I'm actually going to let the playlist play through here. So,
Nice.
yeah, this is the next song coming up here is called Quarter of a Man. Just trips me out. Like, it's just like, oh my God. And what a really cool lyric too. If we have enough time here. But yeah, so actually, Frizz Fuller wrote the song that we just heard, She Took Off My Romeos. He wrote this one as well. And the next tune, Ain't No Way. I did my research, aka went on Google, and I found out some information about Frizz. But here, let's hold on a sec here.
There's a quarter of a man in the market with a quarter of a car, so it's easy to park it. He gets to the counter, he saves what he can, but he only saves a quarter. He's a quarter of a man.
Damn.
He's like a tiny guy, I guess. I don't know, or I don't wonder which quarter he actually has. But yeah, like Frizz, I think from what I could see, like Frizz was just writing these random songs that really fit Lindley's kind of quirkiness. Like Lindley is just the ultimate in weirdness, and I love that about him. Actually, if you reach behind you there, I've got the vinyl. You can even hold that up for the camera if you're watching on YouTube or whatever. But I also brought all the other ones too, just the vinyl ones, because El Rayo-X is the one that most people know. It had his only single, Crack Top 40, Mercury Blues, his version. I mean, it's just it's a smoking track, but unfortunately, it's one of those songs like if I never hear it again, it's okay. Like, or if I do hear it, it has to be by him because like it's just slamming. The Steve Miller version was kind of cool. That was out on the Fly Like an Eagle album, and I think it's like an older song than that too. But this is just the definitive one. But cool story. In the '90s, Alan Jackson, country guy, had a few seconds left or a few minutes left in his recording session, and they were like, well, we should cut a song. Let's do a country version of Mercury Blues, and it took him like 20 minutes. It became like a huge, probably number one hit and everything. Yeah. But it is different again than Lindley's, right? So, the song kind of lives on. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. So your grandma, my mom, and I got to meet David. He came to Sherwood Park here actually to a little show.
When was it?
2008, I think. 7, 8. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Cool guitars.
Well, yeah, he was the original like retro guy. Like how Jack White kind of made it cool to like rock these really bizarre old guitars that really kind of sucked, but they sounded cool and they looked really cool. He was the original guy. Actually, and on the back of that, we're looking now at the cover of the Win This Record, the solo album. If you look on the back there, you see he's playing right there though. There's you should see the one he's playing like a seal. So it looks like a flying V, but the neck is like tilted 45 degrees or 60 degrees something. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, that's a cool shot of Jorge is bass player, Calderon. I have his solo record actually on CD.
Oh yeah,
it did get reissued. Yeah. The other one there is I got the El Rayo Live 12-inch EP.
Oh, that's this one?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay,
when
the
I was
brick.
thinking
yeah.
Of, when I was thinking of Mr. Dave.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
But yeah, Mr. Dave is, of course, the one you've got in your hand there. And so that was his elusive third album. So a lot of people think that his third album was very greasy, which came out in 88 or 89, but actually that was his fourth record. This one was only released in Europe, I think, or just internationally anyway, and you had to get it as an import. So, before the internet, it was hard to like find out a lot of this stuff. So, I didn't get it until eBay came out, and I Googled it, and sure enough, it was a thing. And now it's a little more available, although this stuff is still not super available. Another Frizz Fuller song here, by the way, a little Ain't No Way Baby right here. Check this out. Like, listen to his vocals, eh? I'd like to find out like what was going on at this time. There's not a pile written about him. There's probably some interviews if I start going down the YouTube rabbit hole a little bit more. But around this era, there was a bit of a ska revival. So,
it sounds very like reggae.
Yeah, there was reggae and there was ska. Like he had this whole kind of the Caribbean influence, and so the Specials were a big ska band out of Britain, and around this time, and of course Sting and the Police were using a lot of those rhythms, and so it was a little bit more in the public sphere. So maybe he just wanted to lean into that. Like I'm not sure if he had any actual motivation to like. It's just I'm so intrigued by him, and he the only way I could solve that would be just like have coffee with him for like 5 years, or like move in with him or something.
That'd be cool.
Would be awesome. Yeah, he was really nice when we met him, and when I brought the Mr. Dave record to get him signed, I kind of gave him the quick story about how we didn't know it was out and all that.
Yeah,
and then he says, "Yeah, and I designed all the art. I designed the artwork," right. and I did. Oh, I'm still embarrassed. I was like, "No, I did this like really sarcastic because of course he did. It looks so wacky and cool, but I felt like such an idiot because I'm like I couldn't have thought of anything more reverential to say to him or."
That's funny.
Yeah. Sometimes when you meet your heroes, you just completely fall into a lump. Yeah. Although, to bring it around to Springsteen, my dad met Springsteen, spent a few minutes with him there, got a bunch of stuff signed.
I've seen the picture.
That went really well. Yeah.
That's cool.
By the sounds of it, yeah. So I guess you can meet your heroes sometimes, and that's pretty cool. So I'll check out a little solo action here. A rare non-slide solo. Serving the song, keeping it simple, keeping it tight. Yeah, what a great groove.
Nice.
Yeah,
the percussion sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some layers in there, but it's nothing fancy. Yeah, I think I've told you before when I'm in a bad mood, I just put this on, or if I'm sad or whatever, and I'm good. Yeah, which is pretty rare. There's very few, but this is one of them, and I would say probably Feet Don't Fail Me Now. Little Feet too. I can do that to me. It's funny how they're in L's and Little Feet Lindley. Like they're both
that's true,
huge for me, and that's yeah. Oh, I love this baritone. That is just fucking badass. And the lyric too. Your old lady. Slide. Oh, come on. How does that happen? Yeah, this is an old. Was it Isley Brothers or
I have no idea.
Or King Curtis's List is there? Okay, well whatever. Yeah. His forte was really like finding like old material and doing it his own way. In fact, I think most of them. Well, there's a couple originals on this one, but his wife even has a choreo on this, right too. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, Bob Glove on bass, man. So, and Billy Payne on keyboards and organ, of course.
Saw his name on the record.
Yeah. Yeah, there is just, I don't know. It's a really hard thing to explain. Did you ever listen to any of the Lindley stuff on your own?
No, but I was going. Rayo-X was on my Spotify list. But it's one I never got to.
Yeah. Well, how could you? I mean, you have your own music to listen to.
There's a lot, yeah.
It's tough. It's tough trying to go forward walking backwards, right? Like it's
true.
Which I do a lot of. But I'm really working on like trying to listen to more interesting kind of new things because it is out there. But yeah, when I need to get moved, as it were. I just put on this stuff. Listen to this slide right here. That rhythm, the rhythm guitar, yeah. Almost sounds like the bass dropped out or something. Oh yeah, maybe one of those tracks where like they did like all baritone guitar and no bass. I don't know, or 6-string bass. Something.
Could be.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, weird production. His work on Running on Empty, of course, like it's just tear inducing for me every time. His solo stuff is just so wacky. I know I think I've told you this before, but like for me, I know like, you know, my parents were both into it, like, but for like mom and me are like, this is it. Like, this is the combination of like wackiness and, but heart and, it's no wonder I sing and play and listen the way I do. Yeah. Like my whole idea was like when I started being an artist is just I wanted to bring this kind of stuff this inspiration into whatever I do. So that's why I always insist on having a bit of lap steel and you know, it's really important for me to, as an expression, my guitar playing and especially in my own stuff, this like the lap steel and stuff, the slide is it's so expressive. And
it is. I think you get more control that it's like over, like it's on your lap. Yeah. You get your overhand. Yeah. You get more control over it.
Yeah, there's an aggressiveness that you can take because like look at the space between the that's like true. The nut is so high on it that like when you want to really lean in, you have to be careful, of course, to stay on pitch. But like you can, like for vibrato too, like if you want to wank, like you can, and it's a very, for me, it's a very physical instrument, far more so than just a straight up guitar.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But you know, Lindley is still working. He really ended up doing a lot of like, again, that quote unquote world music thing. Like he worked with Hani Nazar and just exploring like different sounds and okay. Well, how can I talk when there's a great song on? I might have to rethink this format. So that's another Lindley theory. Tuberculosis in the sinus blues. Tuberculosis in the sinus. It's kind of
very catchy.
Yeah, well, and again, this is another cover, right? Like, so this was a Louisiana song, Huey Smith or whatever. I mean, it's, but it was originally called Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu. But Lindley just, can't do things normal, so he has to like change the title. Oh, I love it. Yeah,
it's very like, I don't know, it just sounds nice, like it's groovy.
Yeah, and again, like it's no wonder I had some interest in. I mean, again, I'll call it world music just because there's no other better name for it. But like, of course, we talked about Paul Simon, Graceland. When that happened, that was a really big deal. But being introduced to these sorts of rhythms and sounds and instruments at a young age, I mean, it really opened my eyes a bit. The fun thing about the Mr. Dave record, if any, I don't even think it's on streaming, but I've got it on CD now too, actually. But it did get reissued finally. But it was 85, right? So the production techniques were still pretty bad then. Yeah. But he was. I don't sound like he was trying to swing for the fences again. Like it had some pop elements to it, like modern in 1985 pop elements to it. So, and I think he's got a fairly big following, like internationally too. But it would be a big, fervent, like small, following, right? But he is. He's really left his mark. And it's so I've tacked on a few extra songs. This is actually the first song from the second album, also a cover. Some got a hold of me, completely different version, but it's pretty hard to separate these two records because they were only a year apart. It's funny too when I first met my dad, the only David Lindley record he has in his collection is this one, not Rayo-X. Right. Probably because everyone else had it anyway, but it is a great record. It is a very typical, though, second record. Hey, we had a little bit of success with that Mercury Blues. Why don't you give us like 3 more just like that? Yeah. And there's a few songs on this album that are a little bit in that zone. But hey, who cares? It's still great stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it's amazing stuff for sure. His session work was just just a who's who list, right? Like I'm just if you can believe Wiki, which I seem to, sadly. His work on like For Every Man, all the Jackson Browne stuff. Okay, solo time, sir. I'm gonna have to start talking. Yeah.
It does give me Jackson Brown vibes,
Well, sure,
even
yeah.
though I only know one Jackson Brown song.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Well,
it.
that's okay, yeah.
No, well, it doesn't sound like it, but it gives it those vibes.
Well, yeah, it's an identifiable sound, and I will argue more identifiable than Cooter, because like Cooter had a thing too in the early '70s, particularly. He left his stamp on a lot of stuff, but yeah, to me, there's just nothing like this. And even when Lindley's playing on a different instrument, like he did the solo, and he's in the video for an album called Trio. So that Emmylou Harris, Linda Ronstadt, and Dolly Parton did an album called Trio. There's a long history on that too. We can get into sometime, but they did a version of "To Know Him Is to Love Him," and Lindley did like I don't know what kind of instrument it was that he did the solo on, but it was still him.
Yeah.
Oh, and a second slide solo. What? Come on. And I think the thing that I really dig about his stuff, the slide, is usually slide is in that pentatonic blues box, but even more poorly played than regular pentatonic blues. It's nice to hear such an expressive sound on just the major scale. Like
I was thinking that too, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and of course I did program the second song on the album as this track. Yeah, this playlist will be available, of course, on Spotify for anyone that wants to listen. And if you're listening on Spotify, there are the two versions of this podcast. There will be the one with these songs interspersed. So after or before I'm talking about them, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I'm going to chop them up and put them in there. So. He also did a beautiful solo on a song called Polaroids by Sean Colvin. So that was a real mind blower for me because, another one of my heroes. Having her, having a song with hers, and then the solo break is one of his. And then Greg Lees does the steel solo with phaser. We've talked about phaser a lot. I do have a hard time sometimes separating the phaser effect from slide sometimes because Lindley, like even on the second Jackson Brown record, like with his version of Take It Easy, there's just that droning slide in. It's got the phaser, and it's so subtle.
It sounds really good.
Yeah. Phaser is it's still a filter effect, right? So it's commonly thought more as like a modulation, but it's a filter. And the way it comes around, depending on if it's 4-stage, 6-stage, or 8-stage, it can really just give your tone different dimension without sounding too over. Like flanger is fun too. Like you do need it. Oh,
I don't have.
You don't
one,
have it.
though.
Yeah,
I borrowed yours though.
Yeah, and you borrowed Davies too.
Oh,
Shout
did I?
out to Davies.
I don't remember
you
that.
borrowed the pink or purple, the Boss one, which actually sounded better than mine. Yeah,
I like that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's
You can
probably when I was learning Cradle Will Rock.
I would hope
and,
so. Yeah.
I remember when I first discovered that song, I would just rewind it.
Yeah.
Just that first part. And just play it back and back because it's so
good.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's very hard to separate that sound, those sounds for me. But phaser was a very popular thing in the '70s. Yeah, it did. It's fairly crazy. But I'm not sure what he does now. Like the last I saw him is he was he had sold. So okay, I got to fill you in on that. So because he was from California and then raised his, I think he's got a daughter or whatever, like at least one kid. Raised his family there. Oh crap! I'm gonna interrupt again. Oh boy. Ooh. Can't beat it. The only thing better than a slide solo is an organ solo.
Yeah.
So, a well-played organ solo, of course, which they can be not played as well as they should be sometimes.
It's tasty.
But so the guy that kind of carried on the tradition of this kind of music and slide in particular is Ben Harper.
Oh, we talked about
Ben Harper in the '90s he was kind of the up and coming, bit of a world music guy, lap steel. Like he would like be in this big giant stadium. I've seen a live show with, and he's like sitting on this big riser with just like a bunch of really weird instruments behind him and around him and his band or whatever. Just playing lap steel, like singing. And I think he even covered some Lindley songs. But Ben Harper grew up with Lindley's daughter, and so he got to know David. And Ben Harper's family owned and still owns a really well-known music store.
Right.
I guess in California somewhere. So, so they've been able to sort of get to know each other. And now David Lindley owns or had like I think two of the original Alexander Dumble, the Dumble amps, those handmade.
Oh yeah,
by Alex Dumble, and Dumble used to like mod Fender amps, and then he started just building his own. And their world, like they're $100,000 amps sometimes, like they're because each one was a little bit different, and he would customize them, but they were just so good. And a lot of guys have reverse engineered them since, and you can buy amps that get you pretty close to the Dumble sound. But a lot of that era, everyone had a Dumble. So Cooter, Lindley, but Ben Harper has one of Lindley's original Dumbles. And he actually demoed it online here not that long ago. So yeah,
did he buy it from him?
Yeah, he bought it from him. Yeah, like I don't think a guy like David Lindley be rich by any means. You know, a lot of these guys are. I think that I've heard it explained best by Ray McGuire from Trooper. He says basically he's just a well-paid plumber. Like and that's about. Yeah. So yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but you get to rock on stage. So like, what could be more important than that? Oh yeah. This is another trippy kind of little tune called "Talk to the Lawyer."
It also kind of sounds like Neil Giraldo.
Oh, it does. Actually, and it's totally that era too. Yeah. Well, the tone too, right? There's a chorus effect on there. I don't know if it'd be one of those Eventide rack mounts or it might be a chorus pedal or something. But yeah, Lindley did have that nice chorus sound on his stuff. Yeah,
and it also kind of gives me like again, I only know one song by them, but Tommy Two Tone.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah,
just that chorus.
It is that era, yeah, and which makes me think like were they either not chasing or like were they trying to stay current? Like because this is not that far off sonically from what was happening then on the pop rock charts. Yeah, it's just kind of a trippy thing for me. Yeah, it's
also fun fact about Jenny 867.
Yeah,
it's actually not in a concert pitch.
Oh really?
It's like a half sharp.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I hate that. I mean,
microtonal.
Yeah. Well, and
weird. Like it's
everyone tuned to the one guitar that
been
wasn't
out of tune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of funny though.
Try and learn. I think it's Highway to Hell. I think so, a lot of that AC/DC stuff you can't play along. Yeah, they just tuned
some
by
of it's
ear.
So
whatever.
hard when you're learning a song by ear and you play two notes that it sounds like. And it's in between.
Yeah. Now we always have to bring back Springsteen just for a little bit. So John Landau is Springsteen's manager, and he manages a few other acts too. He's had more go over the years, but Landau was working with Jackson Browne in the mid '70s, and Bruce had been working a little bit with violin. So he had a girl named Suki Lahav that played on the Born to Run album, but. When they were doing the next album, Lindley actually was on some of the sessions, but none of that stuff actually came out until like 2010 or whatever, when the box set came out celebrating the Darkness album. Yeah. There was a bunch of unreleased stuff, and so the Lindley stuff is in that too. Okay. Some of that was I think like overdubbed and re-recorded a bit, but yeah. And then Lindley actually performed live with Issue Band when they released the album. There was like a concert you can like watch online.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I love this tone here. It's subtle. It's just this little breakdown thing is pretty badass too. It's like you know, and this is the kind of music where I can freely admit, like, if I were in another person's head, I'd be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It's not, but I don't know. I think for those of us that really dig this, it's got a special place, right? Name me another album or another artist that sounds like this. Right?
Yeah.
You can't. And that kind of originality is a very hard thing to come up with.
Yeah. It is.
And yeah, his. I hope he writes a book. I hope, and then cool. I will actually read it, and I'll try and read it as fast as possible because I tend to read like 4 books a year, and it takes me all year to read all 4 books.
Yeah,
so I'm a terrible reader. But yeah, such an interesting take. Yeah, it's Lindley is my guy, and yeah, hopefully. See, this is such a self-indulgent podcast too, because I get to re-listen to music that I love through the ears of my boy. before he goes away off to college and makes his own music. But
yeah.
Yeah, this is this is really bad arse. Yeah. But okay, well, thanks everyone for listening to This Road Is Mine. I'll fade this up again because it's another solo, of course. How can I not do this, right? I like the changes here. And no slide on this one. I always thought that was kind of cool. Because he was kind of the slide guy, right? Like,
I was going to ask, does he play in standard tuning? Or does he mess with other...
No, he plays in open D or open E often.
Because, I was going to say, with some of his slide stuff, it sounds like he would... I don't know, just from hearing it sounds like maybe, you slide and then you hit the string below on the same fret.
Yeah.
Or that sort of thing, but I don't know, maybe if he does other tunings, you could... I don't know.
Well, there's ways to do that too. Like if you're like on the tuning, like if I've got an open, actually I guess wouldn't matter, open G, let's say, or open A or whatever. If you play on the second string and slide up from the first fret to the third fret and then hit the first string, it'll be an octave, right? So then you'll get a bit of a chorusing effect. So if you can slide up to it and you can play them both at the same time, and then you get they kind of come together. It's pretty dope.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. So Dave Lindley, he's not dead yet, which is great. It's not, although this time of year it's not his birthday or anything, so we're not really celebrating any sort of monumentous occasion. Although it has been 40 years.
Oh wow,
it's a 40-year-old album. So
I assume he's drug free. He seems like
I think
he
so.
just seems kind of wacky. Like he seems like one of those guys.
Yeah, he's like Cheech and Chong without the drugs, without the stonerness. I think. Yeah, he's. I'm pretty sure he's clean. Yeah, I do think he's just.
He looks
cool.
like he just kind of gives that presence.
Yeah, a very creative person. I think his wife is a very creative person too. Like I think she may be either a photographer. She did write a song or two on the first record, but I think they're pretty straight up. Yeah, which is very un-California of them, apparently.
Yeah, that is. They're not even California sober. They're just sober.
Yeah, there's just wow, and that's Square.
Yeah. Oh, when I was at work today, It's Hip to Be Square came on.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Is that the title of the song?
Yeah.
Hip to Be Square. I didn't know if that was just one of the ones where it's a lyric.
Yeah.
That's one we should do.
Well,
Sports.
That's
on Sports. Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, actually, that's on 4.
Okay.
Yeah, the album 4, but which is spelled F-R-E, right? It was his 4th album. It was called 4.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Because Sports was one that, like Rumors, you guys told me to listen to, but I don't think I ever got to Sports. But I know that's probably his magnum opus.
Oh, absolutely.
And I never listened to it.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that was on it.
Yeah. The 4 album's good too, but Sports was he literally swung for the fences. Like it was, and I heard an interview with him not long ago talking about like he made sure that he had a song, like it's like 9 tracks, and he had like a little bit of something for everyone. Like he had a variety of tones, styles, tempos, because they were looking for a hit and they got it. Like they got that was I think 6 there 6 singles out of 9 tracks. Like
oh wow.
And just slayed. And again, another one of those artists that like a Genesis Phil Collins thing or something, like so popular at the time, it was easy to dismiss them. But when you dig in, and if you can tune that out, like Huey Lewis is a freak, and his guitar player Chris Hayes was a huge influence on me.
Yeah, of the guitar players that you've mentioned that aren't like they're behind the scenes guys. Yeah. Chris Hayes. I'm drawing a blank on his name from Tom Petty's guitar player.
Well, Mike Campbell. Oh,
yes.
Campbell.
When his tone is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I guess just like was it Jake Graydon and like Waddy and those guys, the session
definitely.
guys.
So Waddy and Jay, like Jay was more of a behind the scenes studio guy. Waddy did a bit of both.
Yeah.
But guys but Chris Hayes and another one of my faves that I often think of with Hayes is Ross Childers from Collective Soul, because they were both fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at a certain point, Chris Hayes, like he's still alive, he's still doing stuff, but he's not in Huey Lewis and the News, and it's almost like, why would I bother going to see Huey Lewis and the News without seeing Chris? He gets a shout out in Brad Paisley's book.
Oh, really?
Paisley was a huge fan too. Yeah.
Sweet. When was Ross fired from Collective Soul?
03, 02, like
What?
early on, yeah. He
Oh,
was
that's
he was
crazy.
screwing the lead singer's wife, I think, or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, so he
Yeah.
wasn't on afterwards then?
No,
'Cause that came
no.
out around when I
But
was-
that guy was his guitar tech, I think. Yeah, and also
crazy.
a great guitar player and singer.
That's
yeah,
nutty.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Because
That-
I love all the guitar on
Yeah.
all their albums. So
Yeah, Dosage is my guitar record. Like if I want to, that was the album that blew my mind and made me think more about effects and parts.
yeah. Well, yeah. Ross was good. Like,
Ross was
he
a great,
good.
and he sang Dandy Life. If you ever listen to the Dosage album, it's right in the middle of the record there. Yeah,
Actually, I know we're gonna end up with one last thing that
Oh, yeah.
that reminded me. Oh fuck, no, I can't remember. Because guitar albums, I remember
Yeah.
the one is "Itch" by.
yeah. Well, yeah, Kim Mitchell. Oh my god. I
yeah,
mean,
and that's one that I listened to, and there was like one song on it that I really liked actually, and the rest I was like, "What the?
Yeah,
fuck? This
what
is
was-
so weird." Like,
that's so funny.
I just didn't like it.
and
I get the tone, but
Yeah,
like,
and okay, so that's a weird record too. So Pi Dubois is a lyricist. He wrote Tom Sawyer with Rush, right? One of the few co-writes that Rush actually did. Cool. And Pi worked a lot with Kim Mitchell over the years. Really cool lyricist. So there's a long history in rock and roll of like lyricists pairing up with artists. So like they'll have a lyrics guy, but he has nothing to do with the band. But then he brings them, of course, Elton John, Brady Taupin is a famous one, but more like Robert Hunter and Jerry Garcia. Like so, the Grateful Dead stuff. A lot of that stuff. The lyrics were written by Robert Hunter and then just musically, taken by the Grateful Dead and then turned into songs.
Yeah.
But the Pi Dubois stuff. Like I think he's a pretty cool lyricist, but it is really wacky.
well,
like
what was that? The one song I'm thinking of that I really liked that it's like something about. She knows I'm a dreamer, dreaming wild. That might not be on that album though, but I think
that's
it was.
on. No, that's
That
on.
was
the
on
one-
Akeem.
No, that Dreamer is on Akimbo logo. No,
I thought it was.
Rockland. Sorry, it's
Was
on
it?
Rockland.
Okay,
yeah.
for some reason I have that
Or
song.
Oral Fixations, maybe, because that was
Maybe, I don't know.
my second favorite one, and it was the one before Itch. Yeah,
Because I don't know how much Kim Mitchell I listened. That was years ago, but
Yeah.
that song came up like not that long ago, and I was like, man, that's a fucking good song.
And another example of, especially if you're Canadian, like nobody
Oh,
wants,
yeah.
nobody wants to listen to Patio Lanterns or any of the hits,
in
right?
Trailer Park Boys, that's one of the funniest scenes is Ricky. Come on, they're in the forest. Come on, Bubbles, I want to do drugs and get drunk and listen to some Mitchell. And
Some Mitchell.
that's what they call
Nice,
it. Yeah, it's like, come on,
course.
get the fucking Mitchell going, Bubbles. And then
Oh, man.
then Soda, Gopher Soda
Yeah.
comes on and he gets down and he's playing the air bass.
Air bass, yeah.
And then everybody's singing
Yeah.
along eventually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and but yeah. Oh boy. Well, yeah. See, we won't even get to Kim Mitchell till we'll get next season because this season is going to be all vinyl, and then I'll go to cassettes next year, and I've got
cool.
lots of Kim Mitchell. But yeah, I love the album Itch as far as the recording. It was recorded in Memphis. Joe Hardy produced it. There drums by I want to say Chad Cromwell, but no, it was the other guy. I'm going to Google it quick because otherwise I won't forgive myself. But yeah, from a recording perspective, like from a guitar record for me, it's Itch for sure. But
Yeah.
but lyrically, yeah, some of the like that one US of Ache. Meet me in the middle of US of Ache. Like, okay, buddy, yeah, that's an interesting one.
I'm gonna see that
Yeah.
song title.
Well, yeah. Is it Dreamer? Yeah, like,
We might be thinking a different song.
well, maybe, yeah.
Something about the Mona Lisa, I think.
Interesting. Sorry, Greg Morrow was the drummer on that.
Okay.
Shame on me for not remembering that. Yeah. And Spider on bass. Yeah. Yeah. As a band album, like for me, too, like just the recording of his, some of it was done in Toronto, I guess. But yeah, Arden Studios in Memphis, right?
Cheer Us On.
Oh, gee, I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah,
that's near
that's
the end
the
of the
one.
album. Usually I'm.
That is on it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is,
okay. Yeah, I thought so.
Usually I stop there because Karaoke Queen's the 10th song. And
Okay.
then I'm like, okay, that's enough. But yeah, Cheer Song's actually a really nice song.
Oh, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, but
That was,
that's-
and it's like, I think it's,
Wow.
it was acoustic.
Yeah,
mostly,
it was a
which
really laid back tune. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually why I was like,
Yeah,
I want to hear
that's
some
funny.
rockin'. Yeah, but I can go top to bottom on that one. Oh my god, that's so funny, and I would stop it.
That's
Cheer
awesome.
Song. But the album before that was called Oral Qualifications, and he had a song called Dreamer. That's why that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
No, I just remember the
Yeah.
lyrics in the chorus is something about she knows I'm a dreamer, dreaming wild.
Yeah.
Proud of
yeah.
a smile
that's
or
right.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No.
forever ingrained in my head for some reason.
Yeah, no, that was a good lyric for sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, he worked with a lot of people, but yeah, Pi Dubois wrote a lot of those classic lyrics for him in the 80s or whatever. And it's amazing stuff. But it's so funny now that I'm thinking about Kim Mitchell in context with Lindley. Yeah, there's a quirkiness to both of them.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
always thought of Mitchell as like a little more Zappa, but he also wasn't quite as dark and political and
Yeah, that's true. Zappa was. I don't even know.
he was the best, of course. Yeah,
we'll
brilliant.
have to- no, I know. I just
Like-
mean like I don't even know how to describe Frank Zappa.
No, he's and there's another documentary that just came out here a few months ago. I guess I should watch it. I mean, I've watched a lot about him over the years. It's funny though, for as much as I love Zappa, I don't love listening to him. Like it's
I like listening to him talk though.
yeah, totally.
That's
brilliant.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh, he was so brilliant.
That's the one I want to get on CD. Is I can't remember the name. He has like so many albums.
Oh,
but
totally. Yeah.
It's one of them where they ask him something about the interviewer's like, so who are your musical influences? And he's like, oh, just buy the CD. They're all listed in there.
I think it's on the first records.
And,
I mean,
and he's like, they haven't changed and they probably never will.
Yeah, yeah,
So
because
just buy that.
he was
and
all
look at
like
it.
doo-wop, kind of like 50s.
I
like,
think, yeah.
pre rock and roll stuff.
Yeah, definitely older. I think Beatles was one of them.
Yeah, actually, I'd be surprised if he even said Beatles because he was kind of like with them. So, but
Yeah, maybe not. Then,
no, it could have been, but
that's
yeah,
something. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. But and as a guitar player, like the very just free with his playing. I don't know if he was he could write music. I don't know how. I think I always felt like he was just free form with his guitar playing, like he was just kind of going with it.
You ever hear of the Black Page?
I don't think so.
It's I look it up sometime. It's like his. I don't remember the exact. I watched a video about it, but it's like
Okay.
the Black Page is like
okay.
Frank Zappa.
It's his Dark Star, is it?
Well, I don't know about that. It's just very, very hard.
Okay. Yeah.
and complex. But that's actually when I was talking to Chris when I was taking lessons.
Yeah.
About quintuplets. The only example he could think of was a Frank Zappa song where it plays just a sequence of 5 notes.
Oh, okay.
In the span of one beat.
Okay.
Which is when you think about it is really weird.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
That's a weird thing, and it's very hard.
Yeah, triplets and quarters is kind of where most
Yep.
people stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, triplets and quadruplets. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, fifths would almost feel like
because I was learning a
off
solo
time. Yeah.
that was that Jason Richardson solo from Polyphia. And,
Okay.
I was learning it, and it had it like grouped as like quintuplets and septuplets.
Okay.
And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to play that? Like, just play it. I was just playing it with the track, but when
Yeah.
I was like trying to play with a metronome, I'm like, I still don't really get it.
yeah.
And so, yeah.
Wow.
Anyways,
Amazing. Yeah.
we digressed. But,
Well, we always digress,
Yeah.
but we got a Springsteen reference in there. We did the thing. So yeah, welcome to the Tuesday editions now. So next week we're going to talk about College
Kanye.
Dropout. Yeah,
Yes.
which is the second album or the first album?
First.
First. It is the first, eh? Okay, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I might have to watch a little Dave Chappelle's Block Party to prime up for that because Kanye killed on that. That was
Yeah.
he was a great, and
check that out.
yeah, his performance on there, like he wasn't on the whole thing, but yeah, he did a couple tunes on it. It was
I'll
just
spin the vinyl again too, because I do. I don't listen to much Kanye's.
Yeah,
I've been going to more progressive stuff again recently. I went hip hop for a long,
Yeah.
couple of years. I was pretty heavy into hip hop.
but you checked out J. Cole, right?
Yep, the new one. Yeah, his stuff's awesome. I want to get 2014 Forest Hills Drive, which I always thought was cool. 2014 because wasn't. Actually, no, that's too much info. I was going to reveal an address.
Oh my
But you know what I'm thinking of?
Say it again. Sorry.
Like the first place you guys lived in Sherwood Park. For some reason.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was like, yeah,
What?
28, I think.
We were
It ended in
2018 or to 18. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right.
yeah.
Or 1080. It was
1080.
1080.
Okay, for some reason.
1080
I was-
Strathcona. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I don't
1012
know.
Moyer was where my mom
1012
lived.
Moyer, yeah. And then 2014 Forest. I don't know. For
Yeah.
some reason.
Oh,
it's-
yeah. No, it's got a very suburban
Yeah,
sound
does,
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Awesome. Okay, well, thanks for listening, everyone. Hopefully we didn't make you stray too far. Check out check out David Lindley. I got the Spotify playlist ready to go, or just check out all his stuff. Go find it on eBay. Or if you have it already, just listen to what you got. Peace.